What I'm on here for about is Queen Sheba.
Play that louder now, 'cause we don't get to hear it often. Say it louder. You are very open-minded about a lot. I think you haven't had an opportunity to experience a conservative relationship. Hold on. And if and when you do, come back and talk to me. Yeah.
What you don't realize is that you don't listen, man.
I don't have to. You're not my daddy.
Ever diagnosed with any type of like mental illness or any type of diagnosis, any type of learning disability, anything like that?
I have a crazy problem.
All right. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. I did not intend on coming back this soon. I kid you not. I was off. I was going to get dressed. I am still going to get dressed and go to date night with my wonderful husband. Welcome, Jay Taylor. Yeah, listen, Jay Taylor is in the building. Welcome, Jay Taylor. We appreciate you pulling up, boo. Okay. So look, we just got offline. And I'm let me just give you the rundown. In the middle of the night, I received a message from a local in Zanzibar. Okay. And they said, we're needing to jump on a call with you. We have some information on the Ashlee-Janae case. However, let me go back to it. Let me pull it up because I don't want to misquote anybody. It's important that I give you word for word, and I'm not going to disclose identities. They said, I'm going to paraphrase. I live in Zanzibar, and I'm a local. We have some information regarding the Ashlee-Janae case. I'm coming to you with a bit of anonymity, though we don't have the same freedom of speech here as you all do in the United States. We can get in big trouble for speaking up on things like this. And they said a little bit more, and I'm going to leave it out because I have to absolutely make sure this person cannot be identified. Can we hop on a quick call? And they said some more stuff. I said, how? And I responded, hey, all things will be kept confidential. And for the sake of confidentiality, what I said is, I keep all of my sources confidential. And the only way to ensure that is for me not to hop on a call. Therefore, you're not being recorded. I take sources very, very seriously. And I'll go the extra mile to ensure their comfortability with me. So the only way to guarantee safety is let's not do a call. Therefore, you can sleep good at night. Queen Sheba did not record me, and I never have, never will, right? But that's the only way when a person is coming, putting things on the line, telling you things that they should not be. Let's make sure we handle this the right way. So I gave them a recommendation on how to get me the information, and they came back. Now, before we get into the thick of it, let me just say this. Baby, when I tell you the hills have eyes and you never know what a person will or will not do. We're talking authorities. We're talking people at the resort. We're talking man, woman, child. My husband told me his mom has always told him, don't trust nobody. And I thought that was probably some of the harshest advice that anybody could give considering love and, all of that. And I said, well, why would anybody say that? But now I get it. Like the old folks say, just keep on living. Just keep on living. And now I get it why a woman would raise her kids to be on the lookout, to stay vigilant, to keep your head on a swivel. So don't ever get too comfortable around anybody because you never know what people are capable of doing. We turn on the news every day. We hear of men unaliving women, taking out themselves, taking out the women that they pledged their lives to. They pledge to honor, provide, protect. They're taking out their kids. I mean, we are just seeing things that people saying we are living in the last days. It's revelation upon revelation upon revelation upon revelation. We're seeing horrifying things happen to children by the hand of men, women, and including other children. So, baby, don't ever say for 1,000 what anybody will do. You keep your motherfucking head on a swivel when it comes to everybody, including your own. including your own, because the devil is busy. And when we think about living in the days of the last days and in the days of revelation, where they will become lovers of themselves. Let me say this before I get into the nitty gritty, and I'm gonna try not to keep y'all too long. Um, Ashley had no idea that she was walking into a lion's den. I'm gonna tell you that, and I'm gonna stand on that. Joe McCann was the best thing and the worst thing that happened to Ashlee-Janae, Ashley Robinson. Well, what you mean by that? You're going to have to follow me very closely because I'm going to speed this thing along and I may not have time to just break it down because y'all have been with me for a while. Joe McCann was the best thing and the worst thing to happen to Ashlee-Janae by ways of Ashley's eyes. Now, she didn't know he was the worst until she had her final moment with him in that room alone. Now, let me just say this. According to my source, the hotel lied. I hesitate to say the police commander because they can only go by what the hotel has told them. Because some of you are going to say, well, the police commander, remember, they're only taking in the account of the resort. According to the source, the person that's there right now that's saying, listen, you have to promise. You're not going to say who I am. We got the information. They lied. Joe and Ashley were never separated. That's why y'all aren't going to get the video footage. They were never separated. They lied. Now, if we go back, August 4th, they check into this hotel, this resort, right? And the people, villa number, 24. Was it 24 that called? They were in 25. Hold on. They were in Villa 24. Villa 25 called for help. And they were supposedly put Joe in 65, right? Yeah. Now, we kept saying, what the hell was the difference between April 4th to April 8th? Why would Villa 25, after putting up with shucking and jiving for 4 days, all of a sudden call security because she was in there fighting for her life? That's why they called. She was in there fighting for her life, according to my source. You remember we said, hold on now. They was into it for 4 days. Somehow, of all the days. Now, you got to think about the holes and the inconsistencies to us. And we said, this just don't sound right. Watch this. She wasn't moved. He wasn't moved. Listen to this. April 4th, they come in fighting. April 5th, fighting. April 6th, fighting. April 7th, fighting. Villa 25 got used to it. What would make Villa 25 pick up the phone after 4 days? They picked it up on the 5th day. Why do you say that? April 4th counts. This is how they count the days. The full day of April 4th, 1. The full day of April 5th, 2. The full day of April 6th, 3. The full day of April 7th, 4. The full day of April 8th. That's 5 days. What would make screaming, thank you, fighting for her life in that room? That's where Villa 25 picks up the phone. Watch this. Joe McCann, up until that moment, was the best thing that ever happened to Ashlee-Janae. Why do you say that? He was the best thing. He was different than any other man. It makes me think of many years ago. I went to a car lot, to a car dealership to purchase a car. Now, I had a car, but I knew I needed a new one because the one I had started giving me problems where it became more expensive to repair it and to keep it than to get a new one. So I go shopping. I get to the car dealership and I sat in a car that I fell in love with. It was an Equinox. My first time ever seeing one, feeling one, touching one. I wanted that car so bad I was willing to do anything. My first time seeing a navigation system, big old sunroof like that. And I didn't qualify for the car. Eventually, at that point, I didn't qualify. But baby, when I tell you I cried and cried, I was so down about not getting that car. I kept going back to that dealership to see if they had anything like that. That was maybe an older version. I was stuck on that car. Well, I didn't know at that moment that I could have way better than an Equinox. Way better. Didn't even know the next car, even though I didn't get the Equinox, I would get something way better than that. But I was focused on the Equinox because hell, I was coming out of a Malibu. So you couldn't tell me that this Equinox wasn't better than that damn Malibu that I had. That's all I'm saying. Joe was an Equinox. She was coming out of a Malibu. That's why he was the best thing that ever happened to her. People say, you want an Equinox? Baby, consider what I was coming out of, a Malibu. Yes, I wanted that Equinox. Best thing. I'm touching leather. See, oh, this go back like that. And now, what? I can turn this on and it's going to take me. Oh, this is nice. Best thing that I ever touched. It would cost me a lot. I was going to have to get a second job and do it, but I wanted it. I was willing to pay the price for it. At such a young age, not knowing anything, not even experiencing any other car lots, any other models. And I remember the guy I was dating said, you got to go look at other cars. I said, I don't want to. I want that car. It took him weeks to convince me to go look. I didn't want to. I had already fallen in love because I had a first experience that was way better than the Malibu. And to me, nothing else can measure up to that. So I can very well see how Joe McCann could be the best thing that she's ever laid eyes on. The best thing. I mean, he's whisking her all around the world. And keep in mind, if you keep in mind what was going on in Joe's life during that time, he had just struck gold. 2 years after entering into the crypto industry, he struck gold, but he also started to fall from grace real fast because about 90 days after being with Ashley, he started to experience financial problems. He was losing money, not at the rate that he lost it while he was in Zanzibar, but he was losing money. Now, if you go back, I think either it's The Mind of Lilith or Sloan Bella. Both of them did a reading on Ashlee-Janae, and both of them were really close in what they said. One of them said, Ashley's friends and family don't know this because Ashley hid it, but they believe that Joe may have started to become really aggressive with Ashley earlier on in a relationship. So now that I know that he started losing money about 90 days into his courtship of going public with her, not behind the scenes. See, we really don't know when they hooked up. We just know when they went public. And the only reason we know when they went public is because she posted him. He never posted her. He was showing up with Ashlee-Janae at crypto events, business conferences, galas, everything. Whatever she represented in that moment was a big deal. Thank you. You said Sloan said it. Thank you so much. So when I did the math, I said, damn, she's spot on. Because if you go back and track his history of his highs and lows, and a lot of that content creators don't like that technical stuff, right? Because that's not entertaining. Oh yeah, he lost 100 million. You see, a lot of us tend to hang on to sensationalized content, because the other stuff can be a bit boring, but the other stuff will fill in the gaps for you and kind of paint a bigger picture of what was happening in real time. So Sloan, you were spot on, because about 90, oh my gosh, hold on. Sorry about that. So I said, damn, she's spot on. Sorry about that. Thank you for your patience. He started to have problems. So when you go back through those pictures, and I talked about the picture on the aircraft, and y'all are saying, oh my gosh, she never noticed him looking at her like that, like she was a piece of meat. She knew what he was looking at. That was a horny, predatory man. We're on trips. I'm flying you all over the world. See, you have to give up something in exchange for that. You give, even if you're married, shit, your husband, you go on vacation, your husband's giving first class. He's going to joke about, ooh, I'm going to get lucky tonight in the most beautiful way. Now imagine a monster and what a monster is expecting. Can we really talk here today? Can we talk here today and completely be adults? So, husbands expect a little get down on it. Yeah, I'm paying for this. I'm taking my wife all around the country. We're getting away for a little bit of what? Couple time. We've left the kids behind. We've left the world behind. This is going to be very romantic. Yes, give her all of the champagne she wants. Actually, the more the better. The more the better. I want her to have a good time. But see, the look that you all saw with Joe was predatory, freaky, nasty. 30 shades of black, 30 shades of vile, disgusting, diabolicalness. That's different. That's somebody that's waiting to devour you. So I could easily see him having mood swings about money and then being pissed off about losing money that you thought you had when you're riding first class in business first, not even first class, business first, premier seats to Dubai. And you're clocking on your phone that you just lost millions of dollars. Now you're mad about having to pretend to be something that you're not when your entire world is crumbling all around you. So Sloan was spot on when she said there may have been a little bit of aggressiveness, if not DV, domestic violence, earlier on in the relationship. But because Ashley was sold to the idea of the equinox because she's coming out of a Malibu, she hid it. She became enamored in the possibilities. Oh my God, in her 20s, premier access, private clubs, crypto galas, conferences, courtside seats. And if you go back and really start to look at the behavior, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. If you start to see how Ashley looked so innocent and precious before she got with him, she had a girl like look. Even though she was in her 20s, she still looked like a girl. He upped the ante. He changed her clothes. Pretty Woman. You remember when Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman was a streetwalker and she had fallen asleep in Richard Gere's hotel and he pulled that wig off of her and exposed that beautiful, beautiful red hair, right? And wonder why in the world would she cover up such enamored beauty? It was the opposite of what Joe did. Richard Gere encouraged her to be her best natural self. Joe didn't want the natural from Ashley. He needed to doctor her up a little bit. Ashley started to change over the course of the 12 months that she was public with Joe. A different look. Go back and look. At first, she had her little swoop, her little bun, her little ponytail. You can still tell she was really young. He didn't want that. He wanted to give her a sex appeal that was undeniable. That was completely undeniable. And he sexed her up. And it reminds me of the song, I wanna sex you up all night, make you feel good. That's what you saw on that airplane. Now, one thing we've known, or we do understand or come to know in situations like this with powerful men, rich men, a lot of them don't sleep. Black, white, fat, skinny, tall. A lot of them don't sleep because they become so enamored with their own sexual desires. They stay up and they have a little bit of assistance to be able to stay up and go on and on and on. And a lot of them don't like or prefer not to be in the United States. So they're whisking these girls around in countries and places where men can pay to do things to women that women will never utter out loud under the guise of being an Instagram model. We know what happens in Dubai with some of these women, Black women, women of color. See, I don't see white girls posting photos of going to Dubai, on a plane to Dubai, but we know these Arabs pay high dollar to do nasty, disgusting things to Black women, women of color. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Just get on the internet. And it's very tempting to a girl that's coming out of a Malibu. You get what I'm saying? It's very tempting to a girl that's coming out of a Malibu. So when you're coming out of a Malibu and you experience an equinox and you think it's the best thing that's happened to you, and then what if that equinox is introducing you to other men, but you feel safe because he's there with you, assuring that nothing else is going to happen? Ashley bit off more than she can chew. And I know we talked about Joe having business interest over there in Zanzibar, and we talked about him being a partner in the ambulance business and personal and private transportation. Come to find out that is true. He transported her to the hospital. Listen to this, in his own private van, according to my source. He transported her to the urgent care in his own private van. Hold on. Pull up a seat. Let's go. There's truth to the fact that him being in partnership over there with a transportation company. Because I thought, why in the hell would he have a van at the resort? Hold on. It gets more interesting. Not only that, he's in partnership. Let me get it. He's in partnership. Hold on. And has a piece of share or ownings with the resort. He's a partner at the resort. Watch this. Hold on. I believe it. I told y'all the last time I did this, when I was talking about the body being shipped, I went down a rabbit. I know they're not lying, because I went down a rabbit hole financially. And he does own partnerships and stuff, because when he divorced the first girl, she got a piece of his shares. Remember, I told you that on my last video. I said, oh, I didn't know that. The first wife, when he started to lose crypto and companies were changing hands and they were liquidating things, she got a portion of his shares. And I ended the video. I said, listen, what would make a man like him snap? Only God knows. I'm going to tell you, something probably dealing with money. I'm not going to lose out this time like I did the last time. The only thing I can think is Ashley said, did, or heard something she was not supposed to see. Similar to Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So you think these men are in love with you until you fuck around and you find out at the last minute. And they lure you, David D4VD, lured Celeste to his home. The Uber, called an Uber for 8:40 p.m. April 23rd, 2025. 8:40 p.m. She left her home to never be seen again. 10:10 p.m. the Uber drops her off. An hour and a half drive. That's an expensive Uber, right? 10:10 p.m. the Uber drops her off in front of his house. It's believed that he ambushed her as soon as she walked in the door. 10:30 p.m. he's texting her, according to court documents. Are you there? Are you coming? Are you coming? Are you there? They believe at that time she was already dead. Follow me very closely. This is a young girl, I'm talking Celeste Rivas Hernandez, that was groomed by a monster who thought he loved her, only to walk and be lured into her death. He stabbed her to death because she threatened to out him and his predatory behavior and expose him public to all of the horrible things that he was doing to children. The only thing I can think of that will make sense for whatever happened in that room on the evening of April 8th, 2026 is Ashley discovered some shit that was bigger than her. And she wanted no parts of that. And men like this, no, they will take you out before they allow you to mess with their money, their music careers, their whatever it is. He's already paid a big portion to the first wife. He be damned. And then those men have the nerve to look at you as a piece of meat when they're the ones that are predators. See, they pick these girls on purpose because they already believe that you are below them, right? That's why they prey on you, because you're below them. So here's what we have. They were never separated in that hotel, in that resort. That was a lie from the pits of hell. Here's the second thing. He transported her to the first hospital in his own personal van. Remember, we talked about it and disclosed over here that he's in partnership with private healthcare and medical transportation. Number 3, he's a part owner in that resort. He owns shares in that resort. Now, we know that he owns shares with many, many things because his wife, first wife, got a lucrative amount of his shares in different business ventures that he does. He was in business with Iggy Azalea. She says she got out because it's questionable business practices. Now, let's really get into it. You want me to blow your mind right now? And if I got to blow your mind right now, that means I got to admit to you that I made a mistake the other day. Joe McCann is still in jail in Zanzibar. Oh, let me say it again. He's still in jail in Zanzibar. I thought he had been released because they were going to hold him until the results of the autopsy. The police commander, what I'm being told, has figured out that he's been swindled by those white men that own that resort. And, oh, baby, it is bad. They saying he's in there pooing in a bucket like everybody else. Now, he's not in prison, but they know he did it, and they just got to figure out who's helping him to cover it up. So I made a mistake the other day because I thought they had let him go. Because you remember they said not until we complete the autopsy. So when the family says we got the body, but we didn't get the autopsy, they haven't released the autopsy because they suspect and they know that he killed her. Let me give you the rundown. Here we go. So what happened was, and let me just say allegedly, this is all alleged because I was not in the room. Number 1, this is the first thing the source wants us to know. Ashlee and Joe were never separated. The story about being in Villa 24, walking him to Villa 25, 8 to 10 minutes away is a bold-faced lie. That is a lie from the pits of hell, and it came from, watch this, the resort. It came from the resort. They were never separated. Watch this. Ashlee was dead in that room. Hold on. Here's the other thing you need to know. Joe, I'm going to say allegedly, but these are the exact words. Joe killed her without intervention. Allegedly. Joe killed her. And this is how these people talk, without intervention. That means he took her life in that room. All that we call security, and we knocked and separate them without intervention. Hold on. Let's keep going. Remember, I kept saying, well, why are you holding him if he wasn't in the room? That doesn't make sense to hold an innocent man, but I was being very sarcastic because something didn't add up. We don't hold innocent people, right? Why is he still in jail? Watch this. Hold on, y'all. It gets worse. And this is all alleged. I got to be very careful. He wrapped up her dead body. I'm telling you word for word. He wrapped up her dead body in a sheet. And I don't understand this word because it's how they speak, and left the room in a panic to run to the hotel management. So he wrapped her up after he did it. I'm going to think probably she was naked. She was naked. He wrapped her up. And he was so freaked out that he ran to the management because he's a partner. So they did set the staff up to go into that room, to spray the room. Listen, to spray. You remember Lady Rowe came and said, whoa, 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 I've been to Zanzibar. And the staff does come in without notice to spray your room because of mosquitoes. Because we kept saying, what the boy is saying, the butler, didn't make sense. Why are you going in this room and it's all dark? Because Ashlee told you to come back. Why would you go in a woman's room after you just separated her from being traumatized from a man? And as a man, you just going to walk up in her room and it's pitch dark. She can be asleep. All of that is a lie. Lies from the pits of hell. What happened is they set up another staff. So it's more than likely we need to go with the original story. Remember when the police commander first came out and said, whoa, when the report first came out, we got to go all the way back. I'm going to pull it up. The initial report says somebody went into that room to clean or whatever. Well, that was the person that went into spray for mosquitoes. They found the body, allegedly. Watch this. Let me continue, and then we'll go back and read the conflicting reports. So staff entered the room to spray. They turned on the lights and saw her there rolled up in the sheet. That person ran to management. Okay, it could have been the butler then. But the other, okay, let me just finish. That person, they didn't say the butler though. He ran to management where Joe already was. Then eventually Joe and management went to the room together. So that part is true. But all the part about the charger, this is what they said. No one ever talked to Ashlee about a charger. That's a lie. No one spoke to Ashlee in those final hours. There is cameras to reveal all of this, but he says Joe is a business partner in this hotel and it'll never see the light of a day. It was a made up story about the charger. I knew that didn't sound right. You remember I said, why would Ashlee, if you, first of all, we talking about a land of snakes and it's dark. Black folks don't play that. We ain't going outside. We know we the first ones killed in the scary movies. Why would Ashlee be roaming the tropics, the jungle at night looking for a charger? That don't even sound right. Because if you separated them like you say you did, then the charger, she has the primary room. All of the things that she brought her should be in that room. Now, if you said that you had put Ashlee in Villa 65, that would make more sense for her to be trying to find her way to the front desk. But that don't make no sense to me. It never has. They said that's because it's a lie. The time, when the hotels, all that, I'm gonna come back and I was giving food and that's a lie. They found Ashlee when she was dead. When they went in that room to do their nightly rounds to spray for mosquitoes, and Joe had her wrapped up in there. Hold on. Let's continue. Then they go on to say, okay, no one ever talked to her about a charger. No one spoke to her in those final hours. There are cameras that caught all of this. That'll show you that none of that happened. But because he has a stake and shares in this resort, we're not going to see the footage. He also said the hotel may be closing any day now because of the bad press. And also to make all of this go away. Didn't I tell y'all? Thank you, Trey. You said a content creator with no charger. That's a lie from the pits of hell. We knew that was a lie. We knew that was a lie. A lie from the pits of hell. Oh, I saw her wandering around at night. She was asking for a charger out there in Africa. Child, you was a lie. And y'all say it's so bad, y'all got to come in the room and spray mosquitoes. We don't even play. We don't even like mosquitoes over here in the good old US of A. And I know your mosquitoes big as hell out there, like horseflies. You lying. You're lying. You had to separate him from attacking her. And she gonna go outside and expose herself to danger. All over a charger. You're a liar. Watch this. Here we go. So they are suspecting that sooner or later, those people are about to shut this down. They are probably waiting for a big payday in order for it not to. That's regular practice here. So it seems like in order for the problem to go away, the officials are saying, you got to pay me or we're going to come in and shut it down. But Joe and the hotel are definitely in cahoots and not working with police at all. See, they think they can screw around the police. So I don't know if the commander didn't get his cut or he feels like he's been thrown under the bus, but the police/government and hotel both have the same motives to cover up. But as of now, Joe is not off the hook because they're pissed off at him. He's in jail with the locals, shitting in a bucket, eating beans and bread. That's what they're saying. And at the hospital and hotel, Joe presented himself as her husband. He lied. Watch this. So all of the things, her personal items, are in his possession, being held and hidden with the hotel staff. That's why the parents didn't get it back. I told y'all that. The open book. Thank you for the super chat. You said thank you for all of your hard work. I knew he was at the hospital. And y'all kept saying, well, why would they not get the more? Sweetheart, when you go to the hospital and you're in distress, they gonna rip you. When my brother went into cardiac arrest, they cut off his clothes, honey, to save his life. They will cut you up out your clothes. They gonna take off everything. Watch this. What I believe is true, she was wrapped in a sheet or a blanket. She didn't have on that damn engagement ring. He took it. He took it before they went to that hospital. You remember how it was funny in that police report where it says Ashlee was wearing her ring? Now, why you make it a point to say that? He took it. I think she was naked when she was transported to that hospital. That means the ring did not come in with her. And plus, even if the ring came in with her, watch this, the way the hospitals work in emergencies, we got an emergency, right? We're going to administer life-saving techniques. You're going to strip that patient of everything because they can't have that on. And who do you give it to? The loved one, the doting and the loving husband. He has everything. Even if she had the ring on, which I don't think he did, she did. Even if she had the ring on, they gave it to him, you all. The ring don't go to the morgue. Do you understand me? So sometimes when I see y'all commenting on social media, why would the morgue not return the ring? The ring never made it to the morgue. All of that shit is handed off to loved ones before the body is ever, unless she came in dead. Watch this. Thank you. In a plastic bag with the drawstring. That's what they do to your clothes, and they put it in a cubby hole. They sure do. Now, some more of the sophisticated and modernized hospitals have a cubby hole with a combination thing. Well, they'll lock it up for you. They gave it. Thank you. They tell me, oh, he went to the morgue. No, personal items don't make it to the morgue. They refrigerate you, put a sheet over you. There is nothing. Watch this. So now the police and the government are pissed off because they're being cut out and they feel like they're being set up for failure and they didn't get their due diligence. But he is in jail, allegedly. Let me just keep saying all of this is allegedly. So he presented himself to the hospital as her husband. Now, this is where it gets interesting. And let me keep saying allegedly because I was not there. Joe took her to the clinic in one of his personal vans, but she was already dead. That's what they said. She was wrapped up. They said the paperwork he obtained was forged or faked to look like she was alive. You remember we had the nurse, the cardiac nurses? That don't make no sense. That came up here and said that's not true. Why would they not do A, B, and C if she was alive? How come they didn't clear her airways and focus on her getting breath and oxygen to her brain? That nurse was right. She was dead. The source said he paid to get them to fake the paperwork, but as you can see, they couldn't really fake it too much. Strong post. Remember, strong post. She said, remember? She said, what the hell does that mean? Okay, if her post was so strong, how come you didn't get her airways cleared to preserve oxygen to the brain? That's the first thing you do because they lied. Watch this. And you remember the nurse said, what the hell does strong post mean? Was it one something over what? You didn't even document what that is. They said he paid them to fake the paperwork, right? But she had been dead for hours before even taking her there. She was dead in the hotel. Then he personally drove her to the big main hospital after the first hospital. And then the big main hospital is where she was pronounced dead for real. No ambulance or police had been notified at this point. Wow. And that's why the hotel made the freaking call. Remember, we kept saying, why in the hell would the resort call and say that the daughter is dead? That ain't your damn place. Why would and y'all, oh, because of this, listen, that is not protocol. That's why the resort made the call and not the hospital or the law enforcement officials. They were brought in later. That's why Joe called after. You remember the mama said the hotel called me first and then Joe called me. They had to get the lie together. So the hotel called first, and then she said that Joe said Ashley on her way to the hospital. She did something to herself. Didn't that sound crazy to y'all? And everything's all alleged because I wasn't there. So let me just say alleged. And this is coming from a source that is right there that they're going to remain anonymous. They do not have the freedom of speaking out like we do here in the US of A. He drove her to the big hospital. At this point, the ambulance or the police had not been notified. And then they go back and say, remember in the first report, that fake report, and it said the body was cold and she was simply wrapped in a blanket? That's why. Literally, there was nothing they can do for her. You remember the nurse that came on? That's an ICU cardiovascular nurse. She said, why the hell would they put a blanket on her? Joe did that. Joe did that. Allegedly. It was nothing they can do for it. That's why they didn't try to preserve her airways. She was gone. There was nothing they could do. It was Sexy RN. Thank you. Sexy RN. Shout out to you. You said, I need to know what time Ashley called her mom and why her mom no longer saying anything. Who knows? That's a good question. We all want to know. Why did they go get that stuff? And the family never, well, he's in jail, apparently. Because now the police commander is like, you're not taking me down with you. But here's the crazy part. They're still saying it's a suicide, but the investigation is still ongoing. They won't let him go because they know he did it, allegedly. They're just trying to figure out either the payday is got to be paid, the price has to be right, or you staying in here. See, I thought he had already left because they made it very clear initially he is being held until pending results of the autopsy are released. Now, here's the thing. I said he's home because they finished the autopsy on the 14th, right? And they're saying suicide, that she took her own life. But they did not want to give the autopsy results to the parents. So as a result, they had to get a second autopsy, an independent one conducted. But Zanzibar, what I'm being told is they're saying he can't go nowhere. Now, look, does it make sense for you to hold an innocent man if the young lady actually took her life? Either way, it's a conflicting reports between what the police authorities are saying and how Joe's been treated. Because why would you hold an innocent man? If you are for sure, she took her life, he should have been home. Let me continue. Okay. So that's why the first hospital, they couldn't do nothing for her. She was dead. So he drove her to the second hospital. I don't know why. Joe is in custody. The police quickly said suicide because they do not play about their tourism money. Okay, there we go. At all. So they are attempting to cover it big time by withholding info. So in one instance, what the source is saying, they do have to protect the tourism economy. But they know Joe did it and they're trying to hold him accountable. There's still some questions around that. Because how do I hold him accountable without drawing too much global attention to the death at a resort? With a powerful businessman and also one that owns it. So it sounds like Zanzibar is in a pickle. Thank you, Daphne, for the $10 super chat. You says, can't the family have another autopsy? They're having that done right now. They probably should have already had it done or received the results. You said the medical examiner that's why. Okay, now we're going to go back and look at the first report. So you remember they left a trace. The first hospital staff left a trace that he was lying. So even if they accepted a bribe, they still left a little bit of room to get out of it. Remember, they said the husband said she did this to herself, and he found her like this. He was in the room with her when she died. And they put question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. We're gonna review that. That was at the first one. That was at the first hospital. The second hospital may not have been viable. And what I'm saying, they said, we ain't saying shit. We just gonna say she dead. That's it. We can't make up no report. She's gone. We can pronounce her dead. That's about all we can do. You can pay us to do that, but we're not getting involved. That's what the second hospital said. We're not, You've had this body too long. There is no way we can corroborate your story, even if we wanted to. This girl has been dead for hours. We cannot. And the only thing we can say is we can pronounce her dead. Yes, you can say you transported her from there to here, and that's it. But we can't do anything else. And you guys, that's what happened, allegedly. Now that makes more sense to me than she was out in the dark and we separated her and she was looking for a phone charger. Now they did say they believe there may be an opportunity, there is a possibility that they've taken money from him to keep quiet, but they're making him pay with time for the crime. So it sounds like everybody's crooked. Yeah, we can help you. We can help you. But I think what happened is we are what happened. I think the good old American public is what happened. And they underestimated the amount of questions and concerns that we would have over a Black girl. I think they probably thought, no, okay, so far, I don't think they realize how smart we are and how you can't just tell us anything and say case closed. I don't think they expected us to say, where's the timeline? Well, why would you not do this? Okay, if she had a strong pulse, how come you didn't open up her airways or preserve her airway? How come you didn't get oxygen to the brain? How come this and this and that? Where's the tapes? Show me that. Now, why on the 8th of April would they be more concerned than the 4th, 5th, 6th, or the 7th of April? What is it about the 8th of April that made Villa 25 say, something is really bad? There's clues. Watch this. There are people who I believe left clues because in one of the reports, somebody said they were concerned for Ashlee. But remember, you can't be telling and snitching over there. But if you put it in the report well enough, you kind of save your own butt. I'm going to pull all of that up. They said you can't put anything past these people all the way up to the president. They simply be waiting for a big payday. So it sounds like Joe has not been able to come up with whatever amount of money they're asking for. Everyone on the island knows he killed her, but it's the first time. Hold on. Everyone on the island knows he killed her, right? But nobody was willing to talk because they understand the repercussions of talking. So it's hush, hush. And it sounds like until he can come up with whatever the price is, he's not going anywhere. Because Zanzibar isn't willing to take the fall. Even though they're telling us suicide, he's still there because they know he did it. And if he can pay to get out, then he can go. And if not, I feel like they're trying to figure out how do we clean up our story so that we don't implicate ourselves as being an accessory to a crime. Whew, what questions do you have? Do you want me to go back to the first police, the report or the first notes? Or do y'all feel like you got it? Everybody feel like they're caught up? Are there any questions? Because that's basically all I have. I'm shocked. I'm not shocked. I'm shocked. I'm not shocked. But I am. That many people can come together to conceal a crime. for the love of money. Damn. He did that. Thank you, Aisha. You said, I feel caught up. Queen, you have done a marvelous job. So that's all we got. I do want to pull this up. So all of this was a lie. You see this cluster right here? You remember I was the first one to share this map. Ashley, this is the original room right here. She was close to the water, Villa 24. They're saying he was in there. They saying that's a lie. Mm-mm. That was a lie that we separated them. I'm so sorry that this happened to this young lady. I think women, I know you, why y'all talking? Get on men. You can't get on the men. They've been doing this since the beginning of time. Hell, we just barely got the right to vote. Come on now. We just barely got the right to work. They're making movies every day about suppressing us as women. Handmaid's Tale, this and this and that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to keep talking to y'all. I ain't got no business telling the men nothing. The men can teach the men. Ladies, we're going to have to be vigilant. I think I'm saying the wrong word. You said this is confusing. It is, because let me tell you why. When people lie, and they've lied to us. Look, let me tell you we can just start here. How can she have committed a crime, something horrible against herself, self-inflicted, and he's still in jail? You see what I'm saying? That in itself is confusing. You're saying that this girl took her own life, so why is he still vigilant? Okay, I was right. Vigilant, yeah. So if this girl took her own life, would you not let him go home? See, isn't that confusing? That's what I'm saying. The Zanzibar, the officials, they're very confusing people. And when it's confusing, my grandmother said, because somebody's lying. Because somebody's lying. And they can all be held accountable. It just depends on how much the U.S. government wants to get involved. Absolutely. You're welcome. Linda Gamble says, Queen Sheba, thank you for keeping us updated. Well, that's all I have. That's all I have. So, you said maybe the plans is to keep some money and you just do a little time, but see, here's the thing. The death was announced self-inflicted death. But I get what you're saying. Him being held under investigation could be like, we got to do a little, we got to do a little bit to make it seem like. Either way, your hands are dirty. Oh, I did too. You said I always believe. Yeah. So that's all I have. Yes. Jen Owens said, other lies to cover up the original gaps. Thank you, Miss Special K. I appreciate it. That's all we got. I'm not going to hold you all long. It's crazy. It's sad. Ashley's funeral is scheduled for May 5th. She will be laid to rest. Prayers to all parties involved. I don't know if he can. You said, I bet he cleaned out Ashley's bank account. So that's actually harder to do than what you think it is. The only way he would be, I don't even want to tell you how to do it, but the only way he would be able to do that, because he's not her husband, and I don't think she had him on her account as an approved user. Remember, this is the USA. So the only way he would be able to do that, let's just say her daily limit is $1,500 or $500. She would have had to have already notified the bank that she was traveling abroad. Otherwise, what happens is when you travel internationally and you fail to let your bank know, they are going to decline an ATM withdrawal, decline a purchase in a foreign country because they flag it as fraud or scam, because these are not your typical spending habits. We're so knowledgeable over here. But if Ashley, if the bank had tracked her spending, it just depends if she bought anything in the airport. But if he was buying everything, snacks and foods and dinners, then he's not able to get into her account, because they would probably send her a security message to say, "Hey there, it looks like somebody's trying to use your card. Is this you? Yes or no?" Now, remember, according to the butler, her phone was dead. Power of attorney medical is different. Just because somebody has a power of attorney medically does not give them access to your personal assets. You get what I'm saying? He would have to go to probate court here in the United States of America to access, and he has no right to anything. Even her parents will have to go to court. And I don't think he had power of attorney in her personal affairs. You know why he didn't? Because she never expected to die. She never took her own life. She thought she was going on a birthday trip and she would be home in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. No, they had no joint account. I guarantee you, this white man did not have this girl on anything. Remember, listen to what I'm saying. He lost a great portion of his assets, his stock, his shares to the first wives. That was outside of his control. The company gave the judge ordered that. I guarantee you, he did not have Ashlee-Janae on anything. Ashley Robinson. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You want to see a man's true colors? You take his money away. So I can, oh, he's a hacker. There's still, he can hack, but the bank is still the bank. Only way he could do it is if he would get in her Cash App and transfer money or something like that. That's another option. Transfer money to himself. Does anybody know how much Ashley was making on average? How much her brand deals were? Did her parents or anybody give you an idea or an inkling? I'm going to say I don't think it's too much. Why? She was up and coming. She was an up and coming influencer. Let me tell you why. As a woman, I got to be honest with y'all. Give me a second. Give me about 15 seconds and I'm going to tell you. Let me put on a little music. I got to grab my sweater. And I'm going to tell you why I don't think she was making that much yet. I'll tell you why. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Now, this is where we really have real talk over here. And this is just me using my common sense. Ashley was up and coming. She's a beautiful girl. And Ashley's page was a bit sexy, right? Some of the higher girls that make really good brand deals is not overtly sexual. They have to start to move to drive a customer demographic or a customer base into like face washes and stuff like that. Ashley hadn't hit that mark yet where you would get the Doves, the brands like Dove and those brands to start picking you up. But she was getting some traction. I think she was making good money for her age, but I don't know if she was in there yet at $250,000, half a million dollars a year. And let me tell you why. When those girls start making that kind of money, they don't need a sugar daddy to flew them out. Thank you, Bless. You say your channel is amazing. So that's when you start to see those girls become a little bit more independent. And it's less photos about the men and more about her living her best life. So a lot of Ashley's content was around the man that she was attached to, as opposed to the brand deals that she was seeking. He overwhelmed her space. I don't think she had a lot of time to focus on content. She was the content in the dark world. I like to say it. She was the content, and she had no idea. That's a good question. You said, so was the mom lying when she said Ashley called and said that they argued and they were separated? I don't know. I know the mama never came back out and talked again. Or is your source saying they argued, but the source said they argued, but they were never separated? That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting. We need clarity. So let's play the mom. But did you notice when I said, now I don't see why the mom would lie? Hold on, let me highlight this one. That's a really good question. I don't know. Maybe Ashley thought he was going to go to another room. That's right, Valerie. You said when girls make their own money, they become less dependent on these sugar daddies. They don't have to live that life anymore. If you notice, and I'm gonna skip and I'm coming back. I'm gonna stay here with you and I'm gonna come back to your question. In the D4VD case, they said even the 13-year-old girl told her predator, all we do is have sex. I want better for my life. So these girls that end up in this world, eventually, when they start making that kind of money, they're going to try to get out of that. So the fact that Ashley was still connected to him in some sort of a way, I think she was making good money, but she hadn't got to the point where she was making enough. But I don't know. Let me go back to that one question. Actually, let's listen to the mom. Now we got to listen to it with a different pair of ears. I did find it interesting that all the mom said was she called me to say that they had been in a fight and they had been separated. Hold on. I got to pull it up. That's what the mom said. I don't think the mom's lying. Well, I hope the mom's not misleading us. Because then we said, what time? Why were they fighting? And the mom went hush. She went hush. She went ghost. Remember we said, well, what time? What did she say they was fighting about? What did Ashley tell you? And the mom never spoke again. I believe that too. I think they could have separated them for a moment to cool off and he probably brought his ass back. And that's what that's what the source means. I'm sorry. Look, I'm leaking information. That's what the source means when they said they were never really truly separated. Let's hear. Here we go. Y'all said, let's listen to the mom. Here we go. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. I got a lot of stuff here. We got to get the right video. Hold on. I got a lot of crap here. Y'all got so many files. Hold on. We're coming. All right. Thank you for your patience. Ashley's stuff is way at the top. Give me 1 second. All right. I think I got it. All right. Hold on. I got it. Let's listen to the mom.
News reporter Cheyenne Corinne is live in the Satellite Center with the latest. Cheyenne. Hi, Sarah and Brian. Yeah, Ashlee Robinson, she was actually raised locally in South Jersey, and now her death is making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware, who say they aren't getting any answers about what happened to her from officials in Tanzania or her fiance.
My daughter, Ashley, she's no longer here with us, and we're trying to find out why.
On April 5th, influencer Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee-Janae on Instagram, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
She was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms.
Okay, so the mom is telling that story, and the police commander is telling that story. And the mom said, that's what Ashlee told me. And the source is telling me they were never moved. So the only person that would know that he gets to come back would be Joe. They were never separated unless he went back. That's a good question. Because why would Ashlee lie to her mother? She would. She would. That I know of. Oh, you said the mom. Oh, the mom didn't say. Yeah, the mom just said it. The mom didn't. No, the mom said it, right? Now, here's the thing. Y'all didn't hear the mom? I thought the mama said it. The reporter said it. Somebody lying. I don't think Ashlee would lie to her mom, no. Let's continue.
The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later,
Unless he went back in that room. And that's what they mean when they say they were never separated. Oh, y'all keep saying, hold on. Y'all keep saying the reporter said the mom said it. I thought, hold on, let me play it again. Hold on.
Action News reporter Cheyenne Corinne is live in the Satellite Center with the latest. Cheyenne.
Hi, Sarah and Brian. Yeah, Ashlee Robinson, she was actually raised locally in South Jersey, and now her death is making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware, who say they aren't getting any answers about what happened to her from officials in Tanzania or her fiance.
My daughter, Ashlee, she's no longer here with us, and we're trying to find out why.
On April 5th, influencer Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee-Janae on Instagram, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
She was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
You damn right. The mom never said that. The mom didn't say it. Hold on. Hold on. Somebody sent me the full Somebody, if you're on this live, because it got pushed down. I be having a lot of receipts, but they get so far pushed down. If you are on this live, can you resend me the full interview? Now we're digging. That's a good question. Now we're digging. Watch this. Why? Because, hold on. If you're on this live and you sent me that interview of Ashley's family with both couples and all 4 adults, can you resend that to me really quick? I can't find it. No, the mom didn't say it on this. Y'all keep saying, probably in a full interview. That's what I want to hear it said. I like receipts. We're going to go to the full interview if I can get it real quick. Hold on.
Fiance.
He told me that Ashley did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at called saying that Ashley passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashley had an unidentified mark around her neck. They wrote, according to her husband, he found she hung herself on.
They said a mark. A mark could be thumbprints too. Scratch. And then they said, listen, according to the husband, he found she hanged herself on the door. He found her. So we do know the source is right. He was in that room. They were never truly separated. Even if she thought he was leaving, his ass came back. Never truly separated. That's what they said. They were never truly separated. He came back. I don't know if the hotel allowed him to have a key, but he accessed that room because the first hospital says he said he found her, which validates what the source said. He drove her to the hospital. He gave that story. He wrapped her up. She was naked. Pulses strong and fast, cold extremities. She was already dead. But I need to get back to something because now y'all got me thinking. Now, he never called her mama. So who called first? Now y'all got me confused. Hold on. I got to quit looking at the comments and stay with my train of thought. Hold on. I can't let y'all get me off because I know what I be talking about, but hold on. But if I get in the comments, it throws me off. Wait a minute. He called first. Ashley, the mom. Well, he called first to say Ashley's on her way to the hospital. She did something to herself. And the mama said, he said that Ashley did it 11 hours ago. That validates what the source is saying, that girl had been dead for hours and he was driving her around trying to get people to corroborate his story. So while he was telling the mama, oh, she did it 11 hours ago, she was already dead. Then he had to drive her to that other hospital who didn't want no parts of it to say, we can't come up with nothing. The only thing we can do for you is pronounce her dead. Then the hotel called. See, what would the hotel have to do with the dealings of the hospital? Why would the hotel even be involved in that loop? You're not. Y'all use common sense. You're not. You a whole big ass resorts, and some of you have gone to resorts. Once you get rushed off to the hospital, listen, these are just front desk people. You're not coordinating calls back and forth between. Let's talk about best practices and what's normal. Let's not talk about exceptions to the rule. That's it. Hotels are like, oh, I hope she's okay. Because the husband is with her. Somebody had to have given them or paid them to make that call. Hold on.
On the door with several question marks.
Sometime Jill went back to the room with security, and that's how they found her.
Ashley was also taken to a second hospital who listed her cause of death as cerebral hypoxia by strangulation and suffocation.
Hold on.
She's never done anything.
So the source is right. The source, now they said they were never truly separated. The source said Joe heard her in that room and ran out to work with his partners. And they set up that hotel staff to find that girl. And when the staff found her, the staff ran to the front and returned to the room with Joe and the management. Because watch this. How did Joe get involved, right? If he's innocent, the first thing the hotel staff would do is run to the room, administer aid. Joe was already up there. Because his villa's 10 minutes away. So the source said, no, he did it. And then he went up there to the front. And they set up that poor butler or whoever to walk in that room, gave him the scare of his entire life. We don't really know if the butler said Ashlee was looking for a charger. We were told that. Gave him the scare of his life. He ran and got them. And conveniently, Joe was already up there. Hold on. Now, and the daddy confirms that.
Thing that would ever lead me to believe that she would do something to harm herself.
And the family says next they are considering going to Zanzibar themselves to try to get as many answers as possible. Now, we also tried to...
Y'all should have went. Y'all should have been on the first thing smoking. And I know some people say, don't say that. No, I'm saying it because they saying it. They said they wanted to go. Y'all should have went. Y'all raised more than enough money. And let me tell you something. Even if you didn't have enough, we would have made sure you had enough. All you had to do was clock in, baby. Pull up. Tap in from the... How much y'all short? Baby, we would have ran around the clock. What do y'all call it when they be telethons? We would have made sure you had what you needed to get down there and get that phone. We would have made sure you had what you needed. I wish y'all would have went, because now these people are playing in your faces. People scared to talk. It's a whole different ball game out there. At least get down there and get the phone. Forget y'all talking about an engagement ring. We don't give a damn about all that. Get in that phone and figure out what the hell happened. That phone gonna tell you a lot, but now he got it. They got it. They done probably went in there and deleted some stuff, and you're gonna have to get all kind of subpoenas and paperwork to get all that stuff like they do in these cases. And hell, they won't. When we go back to the Celeste Rivas and the D4VD, they had to wiretap his stuff just to be able to get it. So we know they done cleared out her phone to make sure there's no video evidence. Hell, maybe Ashlee got scared and recorded his ass talking to her crazy over the 5 days. She probably would have scared as hell. She didn't post no content. And that's unlike Ashlee, based on what we can see. Ain't no telling. He probably had her in that room. She's scared to leave. Ain't no telling. You said, okay, AI. Because the mama didn't get no details. The mama didn't say what Ashlee said the mama didn't say it, the reporter said. That sounded strange to me as a woman. I kept saying, wait a minute, your daughter called you? Okay. What'd she say? We don't know nothing. What time? What'd he say? We don't know nothing. How come y'all? I wish they would have went down there. I do. We would have got to the bottom. They would have had to hand over, because he's not her husband, but he presented herself as her husband. And by the time we started pushing back, they had already had a 7 to 10 day head start on us. Y'all remember? Ashlee died on the 8th. They said the 9th. Hold on, the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. Ashlee died on the 9th, 8th, 9th. It was the 8th here in the U.S., 9th over there. They did a press conference on the 14th. Then we start pushing back. Then they held Joe. Or did they already have him? They withheld his passport and they had him for questioning. So by the time we start pushing back and asking questions, they had about damn near a 7 to 10 day head start on us. The autopsy had already been done around that time. So they're refusing to give you what you're asking for because you didn't have a physical presence. Y'all got the money, you raised the money. Trust me, Black folks would have made sure, and anybody else that's concerned about this case. Somebody said the parents have all of the answers. Something that could help. Why would they sit on it though? Yeah, she did call him FaceTime, but that was at the other resort. Remember when he laid out the red carpet? That's when it was fun. That's before shit got real. That's before they flew to the island of Zanzibar. See, they had already been over there in Africa for a minute. That's what most people are forgetting. That's when she was FaceTiming. I think something turned dark when they got to that resort on the 4th. It was no more pictures, no more fun, no more dinners, no more champagne. It was a wrap. Now, does that make sense to you for a beautiful Black African American queen? Princess over there. It's your birthday, girl. It's your birthday. Girl, yes, you just got engaged. Nothing? Hell no. Something happened when they got to that resort. Like them people say. She didn't go outside no more. We didn't see nothing. That's unlike Ashlee. Was he holding that girl against her will in that room? We didn't see nothing. And maybe the goal was you not leaving. Because we do know, according to the other safari where they were, they say Joe contacted them. Joe told them to stage the cameras. They sure did. They came out with a statement. This was all Joe. Joe wanted this documented. Several. Yes. I got it. Let me play it. They dropped a hint too. They know this man did it. Hold on. Let me play it. Watch this. Everybody's giving us hints as much as they can without saying too much. Let me pull it up real quick and we out of here. Hold on. What do you mean? I got it. Let me go down a little bit. Hold on. I just had to keep my receipts right here. All right, here we go. Let me take this off. Several. So the first place that Ashlee and Joe were at, hold on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need that phone. All right, here we go. Let me pull it up. So this resort right here that you're looking at, Serval Wildlife. They were so concerned that they would be impacted economically, and they did not want it to be misconstrued that any foul play happened on their resort as it relates to Ashlee-Janae's death. So much so that they came out publicly and they say, we would like to take a moment to address the recent news regarding the passing of the influencer Ashlee. First and foremost, we extend our deepest, watch this, condolences to her family, to her loved ones, and all of those affected by this tragic loss. Our thoughts and our prayers are with them during this very difficult time. Now, let me ask you this. Has Zuri Zanzibar Resort ever come out to extend their deepest condolences to Ashlee's families, friends, and loved ones that are deeply impacted by this? Hell no, they have not. When your hands are clean, what's wrong with saying we send our deepest condolences? The first resort said absolutely not. We care and we send our condolences. Then they go on and they say, we would like to clarify that the incident did not occur at Serval Wildlife. As confirmed in a statement released by the Zanzibar police force, the incident took place in Zanzibar. Ashlee visited our premises and had a positive, listen to this, and enjoyable experience here, which is clearly reflected in the photos and videos shared on her own social media. She left our premises in a happy, listen, and good condition. We also wish to clarify that the videos currently circulating online are from her at her time at several. She did not share content from Zanzibar, which may have led to confusion regarding the location of the incident. They're saying, don't play with us. You notice she didn't share anything when she got to that resort. They low-key they low-key letting us know. It's shit that go on at that resort that you don't talk about. Have you noticed Ashlee hasn't shared anything? See, those are the people that are native to the country. They know what time it is at that resort. And they're saying, you notice when she left here, we sent her on her way in good condition. They didn't just say happy, they said good condition. But she didn't share nothing when she stepped foot on that resort. And then they go on to say, out of respect, we have chosen not to repost or use Ashlee's photos or videos on our page, as we do not want this to be seen in any way as marketing. As a team, we stand together with her family. Listen to this. In this moment of grief, and ask for understanding during this time. Baby, when I tell you the clues that they're dropping, you know, they're prohibited from saying certain things over there. They said a lot very quietly. We're going to stand with her family. I wish that family would have went down there and started asking questions. I wish that family would have took that money that everybody donated and started at several. What was the experience like? I know Joe paid you to take these pictures. Who was those two men in the background? I wish they would have went down there before people were told not to talk. We could figure out who those two men were that was following them. And y'all saw that video and them photos where people were pointing out, look, it's two men right here. But now they're not going to be able to say anything. Shut up, Joe. Somebody keep this a fake account. Somebody keep my name out y'all mouth. Listen. The window of opportunity is gone. It's too much. This was sloppy from start to finish. And there's a lot of people that can get into a lot of trouble for not doing their job, whether they assisted him or not. When you turn a blind eye, you're pretty much giving consent. Which video are you talking about? You said, show us the video. Which one? Well, they wouldn't be able to do anything to those parents if they went over there. You get what I'm saying? Because then you would really be in trouble. But I wonder, I don't see a lot of documentation. You know what I do see for Zuri, Zanzibar? I see people showing their rooms. Have y'all seen anybody going to dinner at the restaurants or anything like that? On the beach? None of that popped up for me when I was trying to do my research. I'm not saying that it's not out there. But it's not what came up when I tried to do extensive. I saw all the rooms. Have you noticed that, Nicole? I was like, you know what? All I see is marketing promo, but I don't really see anybody sitting outside on the beach or these wonderful restaurants that you're talking about. Any reviews? That's a good one. But that's all I have, y'all. Thank you all for tuning in today. Pretty much May you rest in peace. Prayers to Ashlee's family, her friends, her loved ones. May you find the comfort that you need at this time. And I will say this, and pardon me if I'm out of line for saying it. Yeah, Nicole, this whole case is a mess. That's because somebody's hiding something. But I want to say this to the parents. You're not going to get what you need by way of honesty. This case has been compromised from start to finish. And the fact that they're telling you that your daughter took her own life and they're holding this man in custody is contradictory in and of itself. You get what I'm saying? If what's being alleged is true. The fact, you know what to go with. You know your daughter didn't take her life. You know that. Now, my thing is, and I want to say this, I just got to say it from woman to woman. If you're going to talk about it, talk about it. But if not, I mean, the ring is not more important than Ashlee's life. What's important is the detail that led up to her life being taken. What did she say? What did Joe do to her? What were they arguing about? What did she find out? Or maybe she told her mom, and this is something her mom can't say for fear of safety. But if you're going to talk, that's what we talk about. Screw that ring. Let him have it. That's not important. You wouldn't want that dark devil ring in your house anyway, because it's a reflection and a reminder of her death and not her life. Her life was before him. Her life was before he walked into her. He changed her whole life. He was the worst and the best thing that ever happened to her. But she didn't know he was the worst until her final moments. Don't focus on the material stuff, because that's what they're accusing her of being, a material girl. Don't sow into the seeds of negativity and about your daughter. Disassociate her legacy from a ring and this and this and that. The only thing that you can do is either come out and out his ass or just leave it alone. And reserve the right for the privacy of the family at this time. The ring has no value. Ashlee is gone. The ring is not going to bring her back. Ashlee is gone. Who gives a damn about a damn ring? You didn't know this fool. You would want his devil ass ring in your house anyway. For what? He didn't even have the fucking decency to call you to say Ashlee has passed. Screw his ring. That's it. And if you can get anything, you get her phone. You fight for her phone records. You see, when was the last time she was active on that phone? That'll tell you if he took her life or not. Okay, Ashlee talked to me at this time. Ashlee was texting at this time. They got her logged into Instagram at this time. At this point, it abruptly stopped. That'll tell you if it lines up with the timeline that they're giving you. I need everybody to focus on the right thing and not the wrong thing. Figure out a way to get some legal representation to get her damn phone records. Get them damn phone records if you can't get that phone. And that's going to piece together the puzzle and the timeline. Is it true what they're saying? Did he come back to that room if she thought they were separated? That's going to tell you if the Butler story is a lie. Forget what I'm talking about. Numbers don't lie. Metadata don't lie. Did he call her? Do you see any exchange between the two of them? Did he say, oh, I forgot my shoes, my flip. I'm going to come right back. Just open the door. Just let me. That's what you got to fight for, ma'am. We covered it already. Harrison. Risa. The source is saying they were never truly separated. I went back and looked at it. Truly separated, which leads me to be there may be a possibility that he went back in there. She thought she was safe. And he told them he was in that room because he told the hospital he found her. He was in that room one way or the other. Even if he wasn't supposed to be, he brought his ass back to that room. at some point before security and with security. He was in that room. But mama, if you focus on that part, how did he get in the room? Was he texting her? Was he, I just want my shoes. I just want my, I just want this. That phone gonna tell you a lot. That phone gonna tell you a lot. Even if they try to delete it, you can subpoena that cloud data, but you're gonna need legal representation. You're gonna need somebody to write that up. And that's international law now, because she was over there. You're going to need an international attorney that has dual citizenship or something like that, that can specialize in that law, whatever the law is. But they say the president is crooked over there. So you may not get what you need, but maybe you can. I don't know. Just focus on that. Don't worry about no rings. If I drop the link, y'all are asking, please, for the link. Listen to me. If I drop the link, I cannot stay long. I can give y'all 7 minutes, and that means everybody is going to have to adhere to 30 seconds. If I drop the link, I mean, we got to go fast. I just see one, or is anybody wanting to come up to share your thoughts? We can give it 7 more minutes. Physical altercation. Thank you. Thank you. You said one of the reports said physical altercation. So he put her hands on her. That's a big guy. Okay, I'll drop the link. Unfortunately, because of the limited time, I can't do a panel. I'm gonna bring y'all up one by one. I'm gonna bring y'all up one by one. Therefore, it's not a panel. Everybody get their own time. I need listen to me. Y'all, we gotta go quickly. Thank you, Desira. You said you helped us truly understand so much when you covered the Diddy trial. Queen, nothing is truly erased. Yep, I learned that from the forensic analysts that testified. I like the technical aspects of things. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let's go ahead and get the link pinned to the top. Let me see if I can do that really quickly for you all. And then we are out of here. We're going to give it 7 minutes of the callers calling in. One and done, y'all. We got to go 30 seconds. We're going to go boom, boom, boom. 30 seconds. In 1 second, let's line everybody up. Let's give everybody's devices enough time to. Tattoo, your device is not connected. Go out and come back in. Tattoo, I'm going to kick you out. Tattoo, your device is not connected. So you're going to go out, come back in. I see everybody. Connect your audio before you come in. And then hit enter studio. All right, everybody hold on. We're about to start bringing in our callers. All right, welcome to the show. First up, we have DG. DG, welcome. What are your thoughts?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Palace, Queen Sheba, I missed a good portion of your commentary, but I did catch the very beginning. And from what you have shared, it's every prosecutor's dream because it puts together pieces that didn't make sense. It's defense attorney's dream because they poke holes in everything. But as an investigative journalist or a criminal forensic investigator, you have really laid out a roadmap for people to follow to determine exactly what happened to her. So I applaud you in your coverage, and that's all that I have to say. Thank you so much.
Wait.
Okay, I'm here.
Let me wallow in my flowers. Can you tell me a little bit about your background and what you do?
Okay, I'm a 20-plus year career criminal prosecutor on the state level in South Carolina, and I also did work as a public defender. Also have done a little bit of training, so that's my background. Mostly I work with DV cases as well as DUI cases. but I've also tried murders. I've tried criminal sexual conduct cases. So I have a diverse background, but mostly on the prosecution side.
Thank you. That means a lot to me coming from a criminal prosecutor. Thank you. She said, we have laid it out here. It is a prosecutor's dream. Like, listen, we broke this thing down and they can just kind of quickly fill in the gaps. Thank you, DG.
Oh, sorry. You're welcome.
Right,
I'm going to drop down.
Yeah. So Nicole, if you're new here, we be having judges and everything. But listen, I'm going to enjoy myself and get a dirty martini, honey. The criminal prosecutor, over 20 years in the industry, says that I did a great job. Y'all, we have done a great job over here.
Queen Sheba, I missed.
She said, we are every prosecutor's dream. Lori, go ahead and turn off the back. We're ready for you, Lori. Turn off your device in the background. Welcome, Lori. What are your thoughts?
Hi, my thoughts are just like here in the States, you can get anything done with a death certificate, and most likely her parents should be able to obtain that.
Thank you, Lori.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's a great reminder. Lori said, listen, you get that death certificate and then you start asking questions and taking over these accounts on the behalf of your daughter. And also Ashlee-Janae's parents, I can help you take over the social media and get in those messages. If you have any questions, how you can send it to me anonymously. There is a way that you can take over her social media after death. Ruth, welcome, Ruth. Welcome, Ruth. What are your thoughts? We got Ruth. Is Ruth here? Welcome, Ruth. We can't hear you, Ruth. I'm going to go to the next caller. I'll give you time to get your audio. Welcome, Queen Tosa. What are your thoughts, Tosa?
Listen, greetings, Queen. Thank you so much for sharing this. And like I said, you've been doing an amazing job with sharing this information. What I wanted to say was absolutely the first resort, they're clearing their name. They're saying, hey, we did nothing. It was very inclusive, exclusive, and all of that, but you can still pull out those phones. And I do feel like, once he got her over water, I feel like there was some arguing or tussling or something on the plane ride there. Because she couldn't just up and just leave. She had to get on a personal flight and get back to where she was going. And like you said, with the locals, they know what's going on. Some of them got paid off. And I do feel like he never left that room. I feel like when the butler went and knocked at the door, whatever, he couldn't get in. No, that was something else. But I want to thank you for what you do and keep sharing and keep giving us the updates, and I'll be here to listen.
All right. That's good stuff. Thank you, Queen Tosa. All right. Let's see. Ruth, are you here? Okay, this must be an old one. Let me kick this account out. All right, y'all, this is awesome good stuff. Wow. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. You said Toot Latrice, thank you. The coverage has been solid, and I noticed a lot of channels have been taking info directly from Queen, so I'd rather go to the source. Oh, thank you. Well, you know what? Fumi, first of all, Fumi, I think you have done a wonderful job of covering the case. And not only has she done I think Fumi is an excellent storyteller, but Fumi is also very ethical in the way she delivers her content because she gives credit where credit is due. She has a phenomenal presentation. She has a very positive audience. And even if she's utilizing or building off of the concept or maybe a theory of another content creator, she says it. And that makes it even more beautiful because then she puts her twist on it, her experience on it, her thought, and her expertise. So I also think Fumi has done a great job. And thank you, Fumi, for driving your people here. Ruth, welcome back. Oh, Ruth, we can't hear you. So Ruth, listen to me. I'm going to take you out for 1 second. Go out. Hold on. Ruth, go out. Come back in, but don't come right back in. Click settings, click audio. Get your audio and select how you want your audio to come through. Once you select it, then come back in and hit enter studio. So I'm going to kick you out and we're going to wait on you. Tattoo. Welcome, Tattoo.
Thank you. I'll be very quick. So I was just thinking about this friend that said something like, "Oh, don't be upset at the parents because this is much bigger than Ashley and the boyfriend Joe." So all I was thinking was, okay, maybe because she implied that there were like really big people involved in this whole thing and that they had to be careful. So at this stage, I'm a little bit upset at the parents, but if that's true, then I understand if they're upset about someone being really big and they would be in danger and so forth. But otherwise, I'm so confused. I feel a little bit played because the behavior is not normal. I know my mom would have jumped on that flight straight the same day that she heard that I died. She would have got a flight and been there. So I just find it all very, very, very strange. I'm even questioning everything now. Is this story even true? That's all.
Oh, hold on. Let me just think. You saying some, we're questioning everything. Um, I'm gonna have to agree with you, right? But I like how you're setting this up with very delicate and tender hands. But I have to agree with you from a nurturing perspective. Your natural instinct is to get out there. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yes,
I
yes,
don't
yes.
know what will be bigger than a woman's instinct to nurture. What could override that, in your opinion?
Well, the way that the friend spoke, she implied that there were big people involved to me when you said, because I'll be honest, as soon as I heard Cardi B saying something, Joe Budden saying something, other people saying something, at that point, it just became very strange, almost like scripted, ritualistic. I don't know if these people belong to some kind of fraternity, because my mind goes to that sort of place. Because if the behavior is not normal, the scenario is not normal, everybody wants to help, give money. I know we can
Yeah.
help them even find local people over there and be quick with it. People like Fumi would have quickly found 3 people l- over there are ready to help them. We can find
Yes.
people, they won't even have to spend half of that money. We can do that easily, easily. Honestly, the locals, if you're there, they will help you. They will
Yes.
help you. So to me, nothing makes sense. And I feel a little bit played. I'm wondering if these people are part of, I don't know, some kind of club where they are told, do this or do that. Even Cardi B, suddenly, I'm going to pay for the funeral. To me, this is not, I can't relate. I just can't relate as a real story. So I don't know.
And this is the first time where I did not see a celebrity put any money on the line to help a Black American
Mm,
that has gone. You've seen Tyler Perry offer money to TSA agents. You've
yeah.
seen Tyler Perry. There was a Black American that fell sick on a cruise ship, and he had diabetes and needed insulin. And Mexico was like, "We need $14,000." Tyler was like, "Here, take the damn $14,000 and give him his insulin." This is the
Mm-hmm.
first time. I don't know why, but you might be onto something. You say this, wait a minute. Hold on. Could this be something bigger than us that we don't know about? Why is everybody so hands off? How come
It has to
nobody's
be.
talking crap about Joe?
It has to be. It has to be. It has to be. Even the fact that these people seem to know him. Listen, last year I was looking at. There's a bunch of celebrities from Spike Lee to you name it, Ciara. A bunch of people now have dual citizenship and now like ambassadors in Africa. I'm telling you, like there's help available. These people either they have been told not to speak, not to do so, but they have to be part of something, or this whole story is a whole lie. I no longer, I kind of no longer believe it. I'm sorry, I just don't. I just don't.
That's fair. Thank you, Tattoo, for coming up. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. That's Tattoo. She said, listen, if you would have got over here, we're gonna pull together. The natives will put you gonna get food. You ain't nobody gonna touch you. But we need you over here in the physical. Trust me, nothing's going to happen to you. You will be fine. Once you get here, oh no, nothing is happening. Ruth, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. What are your thoughts, Ruth?
Listen, I've always wanted to come on and say something, but every time I find that you've already finished and I get too busy. But I wanted to tell you that there was an American woman, a white woman, who was killed in Zambia. Why Zambia was chosen to have that American woman killed by her husband, who was a dentist from Colorado. This aired on ABC. I don't know if anyone has seen this documentary, but this dentist was having an affair with his office manager and wanted to execute his wife in a country that has a lot of corruption, that is less safe, and that is not all together. But because he put a hit, he killed the lady because of the he unalived her because of the life insurance policy. And guess what? He put $1 million on her head. So what the insurance company did was they brought into the United States everybody who touched that body, everybody who saw anything, anybody who saved water to this woman, everybody was flown into the United States. And just to, not to say much, my ex-husband is the one who prepared the whole list of people and to get them passports and visas and everything. But anyway, I'll leave that alone. I know so much about it because the manager at the place where her body was being kept is a girl that I went to school with. So she was also here. So at the time, the whole entire hotel where they lived in Colorado was emptied by the FBI and it was closed off. Why? Because it was a white woman. Here is this black woman, nobody is saying anything. And with the United States today being run by, sexual predators, do you really think they'll go for this when we have the whole entire administration running around, with their zippers open? I don't think so. And
All right.
just to
I got you, Ruth.
emphasize, okay,
We got to
babe,
keep it short, though.
oh, thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Ruth was about to go on a baby. Thank you, Ruth. Baby Ruth was about to let have. Listen, Ruth was about to go in some political details, but listen, it all makes sense. She said, listen, these people, these places, these entities can raise noise and raise hell when they want to. Damn. I want to answer a question. This person. We already answered it. And we went back to the original medical report. Mr. Pan-African said, so why did Ashlee's mother say Ashlee called and admitted that they were arguing and separated? She did. Well, the reporter said it. That's what we're saying, right? But let's just say we played it 2 times. According to the source and according to the medical report, Joe was still in that room. He went back to that room. So he could have went back to that room shortly after she got off the phone with her mom. But in the original medical report, Joe told the hospital he found Ashlee in the room. He was in that room. I don't know how he got in when he was supposed to be gone, but my source said they were never truly separated. That means they didn't do their due diligence to make sure he was no longer a threat to Ashlee. And there you have it. That's it. That's all. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your Friday evening. God bless you all. Wait. I saw one more comment. Hold on. I had to. It's interesting. It says, hold on. This one. April says, I'm wondering if Joe texted the mom from Ashlee's phone telling her we got into a fight. We got into a fight and he got moved to another room. Maybe that was Joe. You know what? We need to know. That's why we need the phone. April, that's why I said she needs to get the phone. Hopefully. But I don't know. They may leave it alone. Maybe the grief is overwhelming. It just depends on what kind of pressure is coming in from all sides. I think the United States of America was just trying to help them get the body back and probably told them, listen, you are dealing with the African country. You're not going to get the answers you need. You're dealing with people that are corrupt. You're not going to get the answers you need. I wonder, right? I don't know this, but maybe they saying at this point, you have to decide, do you want answers or do you want the body back? We can help you get the body back. But anything else is going to be a problem. Thank you. And I know what you're talking about right here. You came in earlier. That means you're at the earlier part, the segment of the video. You're saying we're talking about lions, tigers, hyenas, shoe snakes, and mosquitoes. Thank you. This person they're at the beginning of the live. They don't know that though. So what they're saying is there's no way Ashlee was outside in the dark looking for a phone charger with wildlife out there. I agree. We could check. That's what I'm saying. We can check the phone once they get that phone, if they can get it. Thank you. Thank you, Valerie. Why have none of the guests made statements? Because they said it's a lie. That's what they're saying. Right. Even when the guests, you get to go home, right? We can assume when you leave the resort, hop on social media and say, oh my God, I was in Villa 25. I was the one. Not one peep, y'all. Y'all don't know what the hell was happening over there. Y'all don't know if they was in a zone where those rooms are dedicated for specific activities. You don't know nothing. We're at the mercy of them. Not one guest, not one witness, not nothing. Everything has been shut down and silenced. Who has the power to do that? Money. Money. That's it. That's all.